Introducing the African Diaspora News Channel app, your gateway to stories that's overlooked by the corporate mainstream media.
And we serve as the voice to the Chubal Black community.
Again, we got Dr. Candace Matthews.
A lot of these documents, looking at.
We are committed to informing and educating through the power of media.
This country is supposed to be about the land of the free for all. It has not been free for Black people, and we are tired.
With our platform, we're helping to end injustice by exposing it.
Join us in standing for excellence in journalism and serving our community. Download the African Diaspora News app today.
Hello everyone, my name is Naledi Mfoloe, and it is my absolute pleasure to welcome you to the latest edition of the African Diaspora News channel, where we unravel the stories that shape our world and our communities. Today we dive deep into the currents of information, from the pulse of politics to the heartbeat of entertainment. We've got it all covered, so please stay tuned for a news experience like no other. Now, why is that African countries producing a majority of the minerals and resources that the modern world needs to function still finds themselves in poverty? Now, the answer lies not just in the actions of individual leaders or countries, but in the global economic system itself. Now, Howard Nicholas, a senior lecturer of economics at the International Institute of Social Studies, has recently offered a provocative analysis of the failure of Western-imposed economic policies in Africa. Now, his claims suggest that these policies are not merely flawed, but are part of a deliberate strategy to actually keep Africa impoverished while exploiting its resources. Now, according to Howard Nicholas, the economic policies imposed on African nations by Western powers are actually designed to keep the continent in a state of dependency and poverty. Now, Nicholas states that Africa's immense wealth in natural resources such as minerals and raw materials is being extracted and used to benefit other parts of the world, while African nations actually sink down into poverty. Take Niger, for instance. This nation is a significant source of uranium, which is a crucial element for France's nuclear power plants. But despite this, Niger remains one of the poorest countries globally. And this paradox is not isolated to Niger alone. It is a recurring pattern across the African continent. Many African nations are rich in resources essential to the modern world, yet their people continue to suffer from extreme poverty and underdevelopment. Now, Howard's analysis also highlights a troubling historical pattern of foreign interference and sabotage in Africa. He points to the tragic example of leaders such as Patrice Lumumba in the Democratic Republic of Congo, Thomas Sankara in Burkina Faso, and Kwame Nkrumah in Ghana. Now, according to Nicholas, these leaders who sought to harness their country's resources for the benefit of their people were met with violent opposition from Western powers. Lumumba was assassinated, Sankara was overthrown and killed, and Nkrumah was removed, with puppets installed in their place. Now let's have a look.
Sub-Saharan Africa has been fundamental to the global prosperity of the advanced countries. Okay? And Africa had a role to play. It has a role as a raw material producer. We will not allow Sub-Saharan Africa to escape that. Okay, we do everything to keep Sub-Saharan Africa where it is, also impoverished. It's absolutely vital for the prosperity of everyone else. So let's get clear about that. Okay, and this means all the economic structures, all the global institutions, and the economics we teach everyone is all designed to keep Africa exactly where it is. And whether it is Europe or US or now China, it's always the same. We need Africa to be impoverished. because we need those raw materials.
Now, these historical events illustrate a broader narrative of how Western interests have historically acted to maintain control over African resources while stifling any attempts at genuine self-determination and economic independence. And from a personal perspective, I think that Howard's insights are both alarming and thought-provoking. It's troubling to consider that economic challenges facing Africa may be part of a broader strategy to actually perpetuate its slavishness to Western powers. Now, this view suggests a systemic imbalance where Africa's wealth is drained off, leaving its people in poverty while subsidizing the living standards of other nations. However, it goes without saying that it's also important to acknowledge that while historical and systemic factors have undeniably played a role in Africa's economic challenges, solutions should be forward-looking and inclusive. Blaming external forces alone do not address the complex internal issues that also contribute to the poverty and underdevelopment. And while it is crucial to recognize and rectify historical injustices, the focus must also be on creating equitable systems that empower African nations to leverage their resources for their own benefit. Now, this system, as Nicholas explains it, is actually designed to perpetuate inequality, if we're being honest. The terms of trade for African countries are often unfavorable, with raw materials exported cheaply while finished products are actually imported at high costs. Now, this disparity ensures that the added value of African resources benefits other economies rather than building the local wealth and industries. Now, as we reflect on Howard's remarks, it is vital to engage in meaningful discussions about how to support Africa's economic development in a way that actually promotes general self-sufficiency and prosperity. Now, this includes advocating for fairer global economic policies and maybe also supporting African-led initiatives and addressing the systemic issues that have long hindered the continent's growth. Now, I would encourage everyone to actually listen to Dr. Nicholas' full remarks and consider the broader implications of his analysis. Understanding the historical and current dynamics at play, it is essential for fostering a more equitable global economy and ensuring that Africa can actually benefit from its own resources. Now, I feel like the conversation about Africa's economic future is not just about addressing past wrongs, but also about building a fairer and more just global economy. What are your thoughts? Let's engage in the comment section. We really want to hear from you. And while you're at it, please give this video a thumbs up. That's it from me. Till we meet again, it is goodbye.